Every PTwall package comes with a ton of accessories, including these resistance bands. And they come in 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 25 pounds, and 35 pounds. Now, the cool thing about these is that they weigh less than a pound each. So you can travel with them very easily, carry them wherever you need them, take them to the court, to the field, to the gym if you want. So it's important to remember that. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about resistance forms and how, one of the uphill battles we have is convincing the public that this is real resistance, even though it's yellow, right? It's not tough. It doesn't look heavy, but it is heavy. It's heavy resistance. And so you have to keep your mind open about this, guys, because it's a little bit like electric cars. Love or hate electric cars, it's a nice option to have. And in some ways, electric vehicles are far superior, right? Now, in some ways, they're inferior. But I'm not here to pick a side. But I do appreciate that that's an option in our society these days instead of just a gas engine, right? So that should be your thought process when you're considering this, in that it is a superior in many ways to traditional free weights, which have been around forever, right? And so take, for instance, a medicine ball. So this medicine ball is 10 pounds. And, take a movement like a trunk twist with it. Well, this trunk twist feels nice, but there's a ton of momentum with this trunk twist. And that's fine, but it's probably not as good as having a trunk twist that does not have momentum. There's no momentum in this, right? You are fighting it out and you're fighting it back, okay? So this might be a nice alternative, even though this cute little yellow tube doesn't look as tough as this 10-pound ball. And just standing here, this feels heavier, but for the application, it's actually easier. Does that make sense? And same holds true for, say, a dumbbell curl. And so a traditional dumbbell actually just uses gravity, right? And this is fine, but I feel a lot of momentum as this dumbbell gets higher and higher, right? So I could almost let it go. See that? Where here, I get more tension the higher I get. It's more progressive, right? And so if I were to let it go, I'm not going to do that. It would snap right down, right? So there's actually a little bit more on the negative, and at peak contraction, there's more tension. So I would say that this is a superior dumbbell curl to this. Not to mention, if I wanted to do some triceps, I can really feel this tricep kick after this bicep curl. And I can kind of do that with this, right? But I don't feel quite the same way. One last thing, you can hit different angles with your bicep curl. So let's say you want to curl with the tension kind of really pulling you this way. Well, that's a different feel on the bicep, right? Or this way. Now I'm being pulled backwards, right? So I get the extra engagement of my legs and core, where with gravity, I don't feel any really extra engagement because I'm not being pulled off balance at all with this curl. Does that make sense? So the difference really shines when you look at, say, a chest press, right? So as I've trained more and more, I'm realizing that the more you isolate a muscle group, the more likely it is you're going to hurt that muscle group because that muscle wants to work a little bit with the rest of the body. So most gym injuries happen during isolation moves. So for instance, if I'm going to do a chest press, to me, this is a very smart chest press because my core gets used a little bit, my legs get used a little bit. I'm also working on my balance, and I can feel a lot of chest engagement there, or I can turn this way. That's even more chest engagement. But my chest and shoulder always have a little help from the rest of my body. Well, this dumbbell really does not work for a chest press here. I can feel that in my shoulder for sure, right? But since this is working on gravity and that's pulling the dumbbell downward, I can't get that much engagement. So like typical, you have to lay down, right, for this to work. That's why so many exercises in a typical gym with free weights, you have to lay down because now gravity can work for this dumbbell press. Does that make sense? That's the only way it can really work. So just keep this in mind, you guys, as you're considering resistance bands. This is real resistance.